What's up, everybody? Just got the Woodcraft Clipon Kit in. I was in between getting the Woodcraft Kit and the Ninja 650 Shop Kit, and I actually went with the Woodcraft one because it seems like it's constructed a little bit better. I looked at all the angling and positions and how far it goes down, and they go about the same. I just really like the Woodcraft build. I think it looks badass. But I'm already kind of a little bit into the project. I removed the Barends with a Allen ratchet and just took those off. Came off pretty easy. This side kind of a little bit more, it had a little bit more glue on it. And then I just took a box cutter to the this side and cut all the way through, just from here to here, and peeled off the grip. I wouldn't recommend using your grips, your stock ones again, because they're not the best, and grips are only like 20 bucks. But this side has your throttle position on it, so you want to be careful when you're cutting through it. Don't cut too far down and cut into this, because you're going to need that. Let's see if I can get this. Here's the position of what the bars are before. Better. Right there. And from the side, right here. So they're going to get lower quite a bit. Alright, got the grip off on this side, and it's off on this side. I've also loosened up the brake housing and loosened up the clutch housing as well. Loosen this up. There's a hole inside here, I think it's either on this side or this side, that this actually sits into, and it stops it from moving around, which you'll have to drill out with the Woodcraft ones, that tiny little hole, which I kind of didn't like, but I can actually set these controls where I want them, so that's actually kind of a benefit, as opposed to having the pre-drilled hole that the one that 650 shop actually has. Now for this one, I was reading online, don't undo it all the way and take the bolts all the way out, because you don't want to have to reset this. So just get it enough to where you're going to be able to rotate it like this one over here. I haven't done that yet, but I'm going to. And then what you're going to do is you're going to remove these 4 bolts, slide all this stuff off. You're going to have to move the controls and the bar over that way to get it off. And then you can take the other side off and mount the adapter and then the new bars. Okay, so here's how much you have to undo it to get it to rotate. See how it's rotating freely out of the pin now? Now this throttle is still in there, and what you're going to do is you're going to remove this whole piece as one piece. I got to undo these guys to be able to move the bars that way and slide this off, but these are now freely moving on the bar and they can come all the way off. So don't undo all this, these both all the way, because if you do, you're going to have to reset this. It's a pain in the ass. Looks pretty badass. So I got the 4 bolts undone to where they're just hand. You can undo them with the hand. I rested the bars down on here. Everything's loose, so this is going to come off once those come out. One thing that you're going to have to do after you get the new bars on is flip this bolt right here, the banjo bolt. Right now it's curving out this way, and what you're going to have to do is remove it and have it curving in this way. If you don't, it's going to hit your gauges when you're at full lock. So I'll do another video on that probably sometime this weekend when I get around to it, but right now I'm just going to worry about getting the bars on. So what I would recommend doing is just putting some microfiber towels down on your fairings, just to rest all these controls, just so you don't scratch anything if you bump it or, God forbid, anything happens. But it was pretty easy to slide this guy off. See, this is still all in one piece. Keep it in one piece. That's what you want. See if I can get this guy off. Hoping I have to set the camera down. But once that's off, all you got to do is pretty much slide this. It slides off just like that. Just like that. Down and out. There you go. A little video magic and the bar's off. Big flying W butterfly bar. So these are the holes right here. That hole and that hole are the ones that you're going to have to go ahead and take these new bars right here and match those up where you're going to drill that. So I'm going to do that, and then I will get back to you guys. quick note, any bolt that you're putting on this bike with this kit needs to have this 242 thread lock by Loctite. It's the blue stuff. It doesn't, I mean, I guess it doesn't have to be Loctite, but it has to be a thread, some type of thread locker that you're putting on this. All these bolts and pretty much anything that you ever take and remove off the bike needs to have that thread lock on it, because there's a lot of vibration going on when you're riding it, and you don't want anything falling off down the road, especially your handlebars. Alright, so we got everything mounted up, blue Loctite on all 4 bolts, got the clip-ons attached to the clip-on adapter with blue Loctite on all 4 of those bolts in the front. Now here's the step that I'm gonna, I guess it's kind of an optional thing. I went and opted to get the Barends, the weighted Barends from Woodcraft, just because I heard a lot of people having issues with vibration. Now the Barends come with like this little knob, knob on it. What I did was I just put that knob in like a vice grip, or in a clamp, vice, and just kind of moved it and wiggled it out like this. Just kind of wiggled it out until it came all the way out, and now it's just an open bar end that these Barends can go into. Alright, so now here comes the part that is going to be my least favorite, and hopefully I get it right the first time. Drilling these holes into these bars. And I was trying to figure out how to get that hole positioned properly, and what I think I'm going to do is, now that I have these ends removed, and these are pretty thick, I don't know if you can see that, it's pretty thick metal, but I'm going to line up the ends, obviously, because those are both going to be the same place, to where that hole is. Mark it, tap it first with a smaller drill bit, and then go to whatever size that is. I'll link down in the comments what size drill bit that I used, and always go smaller than bigger, because you can't go bigger. You can't go smaller after you go too big. Alright, that's the final hole right there. I used those 3 to start with. Actually, that's 4. Used these 4 to start with, and finished with the 7/32, and it fits literally perfectly. No wiggling, no... yeah, it's perfect. So, just when you gotta remember, when you're removing metal, you want to remove little bits at a time, and you want to let the drill do the work. You don't want to push down on the drill. You want to let the drill do the work. Just a little bit of WD-40 and you'll be good to go. Alright, so here's the home stretch. Got both of them on. Neither of them are wiggling. It's a perfect fit. Look at that. Yeah. So 7/32 is what you need to keep them from rattling around. And just for some perspective, here is what the bars looked like before. And there's what it looks like after. And now, just to put these grips on there, an old trick is just to use some like really max hold swab or whatever you got around the house hairspray. Once it dries, it's going to dry just as tight as grip glue, and it's not like $9-10 bucks. So gonna throw those guys on, squirt some in here, lube it on up, and if you need to, you can use an air compressor to kind of help move it along, but the hairspray should be enough. Alright, so we got one on. I'm not gonna really crank it over because the hairspray is still drying. I'll give it, maybe 10-15 minutes before I start cranking it over, but put the bar end on the end, which looks like this. The Woodcraft ones are pretty easy. They're pretty handy bar ends because they just have a bolt that goes through the end cap. This end cap actually slides off, and there's a bolt inside there that when you slide this into the end right here, the bolt, when you tighten it, pulls this plastic piece right here and expands it so it doesn't come out. So one more hairspray install and I'm done. Cool. And there it is. Both sides done, bar ends on, grips on. Looking slick. Looking low is what it's looking. These are the 1-inch too, by the way. I don't think I've actually said that. These are the 1-inch risers, so these are as low as you can go without having any issues with contacting your tank or your fairings. I'm 6 foot, so these should work fine just because You know, I wanted it a little, I have such long arms, I wanted the reach to be as low as possible. I didn't want the 1.5. So after you're done doing all this, the only other thing that I need to do, and I'll probably just take care of it in the morning, is the banjo flip, because when you're at full lock, this will come in contact with this stuff and it'll rattle it. So I have to do that, but other than that, this was pretty easy. If you're afraid or you're on the fence about, you know, going with Woodcraft because you have to drill those holes, don't even sweat it. It was a simple task, and if you got a handheld cordless drill and a couple drill bits and a little bit of patience, you can definitely get it done. Yeah, this looks sweet. I'll have a review of how it feels riding probably in the next couple days. Alright, so I was reading online how to flip this banjo bolt, and I'm going to attempt it the way that they had, so this could go terribly right or terribly wrong, but I'll let you guys know. So I'm going to have it kind of facing up directly like this. I'm going to take the bolt out, flip the banjo, and then put the bolt back in. And I'll check the brakes to make sure that they're still firm. If not, I'll have to bleed them. Hopefully I can do it quickly enough without having to have any problems or anything like that. But yeah, I'm gonna give it a shot. Alright, so that worked, but I had to actually put the brake back on here to loosen the banjo bolt before I was able to take it off. So before you remove this housing from your bar, just loosen the bolt so you can then unscrew it easier. And now once I got it, I guess, ready to put back on. Alright, so there it is. Banjo bolt has been flipped. And now you can see that it actually clears. And you can go full lock without having it hit anything. I did also remove, there's like a bracket on, I don't know if it's on all the bikes, but on it, this is a 2016, it has this bracket right here. That is similar to this bracket right here, but it's on the other side for cable management. I just removed that because it looked like it was putting too much tension on the cables there. So you know, do it at your own discretion. But yeah, there it is, all done.